Our quest to be Africa's preferred exchange hub requires NGX to continually lead in developing and implementing leading initiatives that provide stakeholders with robust capital market solutions that contribute to the growth and development of the Nigerian economy. To this end, we have convened this roundtable with the ultimate objective of enhancing the listing experience for listed companies and providing useful insights to prospective companies. NGX, as Nigeria's exchange, remains strategically positioned to support the aspirations of its stakeholders and the Nigerian economy as a whole. And we believe the deliberations from the panel sessions will help us improve operations and offerings in listing experience, market development, advocacy, and investment opportunities. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, our past stakeholders' engagements have generated ideas that provided the exchange with more insights in carrying out its advocacy efforts with policy makers. And we expect this. Some of these ideas have been implemented and have gone ahead to rebound in the economy. In view of our recent restructuring, we are better positioned to adequately intensify key initiatives such as embarking on government policy efforts for listed companies and increase retail investor participation in the capital markets. In the end, our aim is to build a market for the future, whilst we address the issues of financial inclusion in the Nigerian capital market. At NGX, we remain committed to helping issuers derive optimum value from their interactions with the market. We remain resolute in our commitment to align with global best practices, even as we meet the needs of our valued customers. We look forward to the outcome of the NGX CEO Roundtable, which will undoubtedly contribute to deepening the capital market, improving liquidity, as well as help us to identify institutional and capacity building initiatives needed to develop the market for long-term value creation.
Let us first review Nigeria's current economic landscape. The Nigerian economy has been able to maintain strong growth in the past 6 quarters. This has been built on the back of significant expansionary monetary policies. Our efforts to move away from an over-reliance on the oil and gas industry are proving fruitful, with the non-oil sector driving economic growth. The telecommunication, banking, and agricultural sectors are at the forefront of this drive. Nigeria, with a gross domestic product (GDP) of $446, remains Africa's largest economy in 2021. This is despite its challenges of productivity, insecurity, and infrastructure. These are areas the federal government is working diligently to improve, and our efforts are producing a continued upturn. GDP growth came in at 3.11% year-on-year in real terms in the first quarter of 2022, indicating that the second quarter may be the 7th consecutive quarter of positive growth. Undoubtedly, Nigeria, the fastest growing African economy, could move up to 14th place in the global GDP rankings by 2050. To achieve this, we must successfully continue to diversify our economy and strengthen its institutions and infrastructure. Building a vibrant capital market. Building a vibrant capital market is integral to Nigeria's growth ambitions. Capital markets exist to enable the efficient allocation of resources that spur economic growth and development and remain a fundamental channel for actualizing capital formation and financial intermediation. As more of our startups and companies grow and mature, we must ensure that they have continued access to a range of financing options to support their expansion plans. Many countries have leveraged the capital markets to develop their economies. Singapore, Dubai, the United Kingdom, and the United States, to name a few. Given Nigeria's strategic positioning and size in Africa, its capital markets are strategic to not only the country's economy, but also regionally. In recent years, the contribution of Nigeria's capital markets to economic growth has been undermined by a number of challenges. Despite recording a 39.34% growth in market capitalization between 2018 and 2019, the value of the equities market declined drastically between 2014 and 2019, recording a CAGR of minus 5.78%.
This roundtable event is instrumental in addressing major concerns, formulating new solutions, and aiding development across the Nigerian capital market through insightful panel discussions involving key stakeholders, looking at the array of eminent dignitaries who have raised this auspicious event, despite their very tight commitment, assures me of the level of interest in ensuring the development of our market through dialogue and discourse. I strongly believe that dialogue and discourse among key stakeholders are instrumental in advancing the capital market. This will help improve the ease of access to capital by offering a deep, liquid, and integrated capital market, which will further deepen access to alternative sources of finance and boost investors' confidence to save and invest long-term.
It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Nigerian Exchange Limited CEO Roundtable with the theme, Creating the Enabling Ecosystem for Accessing Capital from the Nigerian Capital Markets. The theme of the event resonates with the mandate of the Securities and Exchange Commission of developing and regulating the market while protecting investors. From 1962, when the Capital Issues Committee was mandated to examine applications from companies seeking to raise capital, the Commission has evolved in developing the Nigerian capital market as a veritable source of medium to long-term financing for governments and businesses. To further facilitate the capital raising exercise, and in line with Section 13, subsection 0 of the Investment and Securities Act, ISA 2007, the Commission registered trading platforms and other critical market infrastructures and delegated some of its powers to them. The demutualization of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, NSE, which led to the emergence of the current NGX group, has brought with it a renewed focus on expanding the market by consolidating on the successes achieved through the traditional methods of capital raising, while working with important stakeholders to introduce new sources of financing. The Commission welcomes the sound initiatives of NGX for continued engagement with experts to share their perspectives on changes that will lead to the much desired expansion of the market. This effort will not have come at a better time than now, when economies are just beginning to face the devastating economic reality of the Ukraine and Russia crisis, which reared its head just as nations were still grappling with the health and economic challenges posed by the coronavirus pandemic. You may be aware that the Commission is in the implementation phase of a comprehensive market and institutional reform program, the Capital Market Master Plan, that is intended to reposition the Nigerian capital market to be globally competitive. The Commission has successfully completed a comprehensive review of the master plan. The reviewed plan is expected to guide further development of the capital market so as to attract more funds for economic growth and development. The Commission is also making concerted efforts to ensure the repeal of the Investments and Securities Act 2007 and the passage of a new Investments and Securities Bill into law. This is to align the law with current realities and global trends in capital market regulation, including growing changes in market practices, processes, and products. We have consistently focused on the creation of an ecosystem in which governments, entrepreneurs, and other issuers can efficiently access capital. Stakeholders must, however, look further to introduce more products leveraging on the emerging trend of financial technology.
On behalf of the board and the management of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, it gives me tremendous pleasure to welcome you all to the CEO Roundtable events, creating the enabling ecosystem for accessing capital from the Nigerian capital markets. I would like to express my profound gratitude to the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, His Excellency Otunba Adeniyi Adebayo, the Honorable Minister for Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed, the Director General of the SEC, Mr. Lamido Yuguda, policymakers, regulators, panelists, moderators, and participants that are present for making time out of your very busy schedules to attend this forum. The advancement of the Nigerian capital market has been supported by collaborative efforts between key stakeholders over numerous years. These advancements that have been made possible through advocacy drives aimed at addressing the pain points of companies in our ecosystem, the introduction of enabling policies, and the amendments of existing regulations, while protecting investors' interests in the capital markets. As part of efforts to improve the current situation and attract new listings, NGX is taking a closer look at our rules to see areas of amendments to ensure that companies raise capital more efficiently while protecting the investing public. NGX also continues to work with several stakeholders, many of whom are present today, to ensure that the time to market and the cost for listing are optimized. We have also intensified efforts with policymakers to shape reforms and to shape policies that are supportive of listings and the capital market at large. Most of the listings on the exchange today occurred as a result of a government-related policy that has been supportive of listing activity. An example is the change to key policies across the banking sector that brought about a wave of listing activities from that sector in the 2005 era. The purpose of this roundtable is primarily to engage listed companies and our intermediaries and everyone within the capital market ecosystem with the aim of addressing current issues in the markets and for developing strategies for improving the markets, exploring areas and processes that can be optimized in our markets. We believe that through the discussions that will ensue in this roundtable, we will achieve these objectives. Finally, as we work towards becoming the preferred African exchange hub, by propelling innovation in a range of areas, facilitating capital raising activities evidenced by over 7 trillion naira's worth of capital raises across several asset classes for both private and public corporations in 2021 alone. The exchange will continue to work on improving all our processes, will continue to work on developing new products and addressing many of the challenges that face listed companies and addressing the barriers that prevent unlisted companies from tapping the market.